All right, since 2006, you've been the mayor of Wilmington. What are some of the most remarkable and consequential achievements of your career?
Well, as a lifelong resident of Wilmington, I've always looked at downtown as being kind of like the soul of the region, of the community, and I got to experience it when in its heyday in the '60s and '70s, and in the mid '70s, businesses started moving out, going to the suburbs, going to the mall, and downtown really died. And one of my platforms when I ran in 2003 was the revitalization of downtown Wilmington. I thought it was very important. We have these 3 area beaches, Wrightsville Beach, Carolina Curie, which we've always been known for our beautiful beaches here, and a lot of people come to this area because of our beaches. But one of the things that we had was this beautiful old city that was incorporated in 1739 on the Cape Fear River. And I wanted to be, one of the platforms I was running on was the fact of the revitalization of downtown Wilmington. And I was able to be elected with another group of individuals and council members that were also serving at the time on the city council. And PPD came to us and said, we'd like to reestablish our headquarters in downtown Wilmington. There was a number of things that Dr. Eshelman wanted from the city to make that a reality. We applauded the effort to bring PPD back downtown because we felt that it would re-energize and bring people downtown and support the businesses down here. And we worked out the deal to bring this building and the headquarters of that pharmaceutical company back down to downtown Wilmington, which created a domino effect, which helped us build the convention center, complete the River Walk, do this beautiful park outside this window, the Lava Bank Pavilion Park, and started making significant improvements to our downtown. And lo and behold, it has paid dividends for our community. People love it. We have more people, coming downtown to shop, to eat, to live. We're starting to see apartments, buildings being built. We see a lot of private investment that has been put into the community. So that was a joint effort between the city, the private sector, the Cape Fear Community College, the county commissioners. A lot of people started refocusing a lot of attention on revitalizing our downtown area, which I think now we have one of the best downtowns in the country. And so we have these 2 beautiful bookends. We have the beaches, of course, on the coast, and then we have this beautiful revitalized downtown on the Cape Fear River. So it is really made Wilmington a really spectacular place. It's not just the beaches anymore. It's just not the suburban areas, but we also have this beautiful urban downtown and historic area that we should be very proud of. That the amount of work that went into it, the amount of private investment and public investment that went into revitalizing this whole area.
Behind the public eye, what is the reality of your job on a day-to-day basis?
Well, the reality of the job is that my job as the mayor of the city is to make certain that we are fulfilling the wishes and the wants of the citizens of our community. We have an election every 2 years, and through those elections cycles, we get to hear from the citizens as to what they would like to see us implement and do. And each cycle is different. Some is about public safety, others is about infrastructure improvements, others is about parkland. But there's a litany of things that we do on a day in and day out basis. Our number one service delivery as a city is public safety. Police and fire make up 50% of a city's budget. So out of a $300 million budget, close to 50% of that budget is coming with police and fire stations, police stations, firemen, policemen, cars, you name it. So if you don't have a safe city, people are not going to invest in it. People are not going to come to it. So first and foremost is public safety. And then, of course, it breaks down from a service delivery, the maintaining of our infrastructure, our roadways, our parks. Parks and Rec is also a very big thing for our community, the protection of our environment, job creation. There's a number of things that go into the day-to-day operations of a community and a city, and they come to you at different times with different things. One day I may be working on public safety issues. Another day we may be working on economic development issues of a company that may be wanting to relocate here, or a company that wants to expand its business operations here and bring more jobs here. Another day may be an interaction between the city, the county, the state, the federal government in respect to a public education platform of some sort. It just varies from day to day. But the reality is we affect people's daily lives regularly because we are the government that is closest to the people. And your city government, your county government, or the governments that are closest to the people that probably affect the everyday lives of people in our community. And then, of course, you have your state government, which is very important to our community because we are a creation of the state government. And the counties are an extension of state government. And then, of course, we have our federal government in Washington and the things that they provide for us, the deepening of a river, in the aftermath of a hurricane, dealing with FEMA, Federal Emergency Management Association, that helps us in dealing with hurricanes and the aftermath of a hurricane, making sure that we get supplies in here after we have a disaster of that nature. Our interstate highway systems, our FAA. So there's a number of things that they do for our community. And so my job as the mayor is to continue to work with each and every one of them, no matter what their political stripe is. My job as the mayor is to work in a workable fashion that we can get things done. We can, if we need help on different things, my job is to see what we can do to bring monies and support and services to our community that help our overall community. So it varies day to day. And one day we could be delving into affordable housing. Another day we could be working on the homeless issue that affects us. Another day we could be talking about recreation facilities that we need to expand or improve. So it just varies. In addition to zoning issues that are also a big function of our city governments, our public hearings, and making certain that whatever we build and where we build and how it's being built and taking the public input into consideration is very important to us also.
Can you tell us the city's efforts on combating homelessness, crime, and unaffordable housing?
Well, on homelessness, we have several homeless advocacy groups. The Good Shepherd Ministry is one of them that we do a lot of work with, where we try to find supportive housing for people that are homeless or that are down on their luck for one reason or another. The vast majority of people that are homeless usually get back onto their feet within about a month or 2 month period. What we deal with and what we see as a community is the chronically homeless, people that have been out in our community for over 2 years in some cases or more, where for whatever known reason, it could be a mental health issue, it could be a substance abuse issue, it could just be something that has to do with their health. There's a variety of different things that impact that. What we try to do as a community is to work with our county partners through DSS and through the money that they get from the state government. What we contribute to affordable housing and affordability of housing that has support services tied to it, like Lakeside Reserve, where we have 48 units where we partnered up with the Good Shepherd Ministry and built 48 units there that have supportive services where people can get there and have a safe place to live, but also have supportive services, wraparound services that could involve public health. It could involve feeding. It could involve transportation. It can involve education. It can involve job training, but something that helps these folks to hopefully get back onto their feet. And so when we have vacant pieces of property, we will usually work out an agreement with a nonprofit that we do business with or that we do work with and that we know for quite some time to help build some more supportive housing to help those that are homeless. Because at the end of the day, it's being able to provide housing at an affordable rate, but also for the chronically homeless, for those that are dealing with a lot of other issues, it's the supportive wraparound services that are critically important to helping them. So we have several groups that we work with in this city that we help fund through our nonprofit. And we work with them because what we try to do is try to leverage the taxpayers' money for a greater good to impact more people. We can't do it all by ourselves. We need people that are proficient and understand how to deal with that portion of the population. In respect to the affordable housing, one of the things that the city is committed to and has been committed to since the 1990s is putting money and to set money aside for affordable housing. We know that it has really exacerbated itself since 2008 after the financial crisis. But we set aside a certain amount of money every year. We take usually a penny and a half on our tax rates, which is almost $3 million, that we set aside in addition to money that we receive from the federal government and or state government, and set it aside into a pool. And then we try to work out deals, if you want to use that word, deals, real estate deals with tax credit developers that come in that will build affordable housing. They get a certain amount of a tax credit from the state and federal governments to provide housing, affordable housing at 30% AMI, 60% AMI, and 80% AMI. The majority of our civil servants are in the 60% AMI category. The people that are making about $60,000 a year that find it very difficult to be able to find an affordable house here in Wilmington. Being able to build more of those units, whether it be townhouses, condos, or single-family homes, whatever that may be, it's very important to us. So this last year, we probably, between the public sector and the private sector and the combination of the two, we've built over 400 units of affordable housing that people can get. That's a very important thing for our community, because a lot of these folks that need this type of housing, the affordability in housing, are people that are working in the private sector, people that are working in the service industry that work for us every single day, whether it be people that are working in restaurants, whether it's people working in our hospitals, nursing homes, our businesses around town. There's a lot of people that need affordable housing, and because of our land availability being so small, because really New Hanover County is an island. It's a very small area. It's the second smallest county in the state. There's not that much availability of land to be able to build additional housing. And so you've seen a proliferation over the years, the last couple of years, of apartments. That's primarily because of the lack of land availability. People are trying to put more housing and units in places that will be able to accommodate more of the people that need housing. And we're still in a deficit, and we'll probably be in a deficit for quite some time. But we're seeing a lot of our affordable housing market, because of land availability primarily, moving into Pender County and into Brunswick County, which, by the way, Brunswick County, I believe, is the fastest growing county in the state of North Carolina currently. And Pender may be second or third. But both of those counties that adjoin us, that are on either side of us, are providing a significant amount of affordable housing for people in our community, in our region. But it also creates another problem for us, because as those people move into those outlying suburban areas, they also have to drive into the city, drive into the county of New Hanover with the cars, which creates a pretty significant traffic issue for us also. We hear a lot from our residents that the traffic. Well, it's a lot of people that have moved outside of the city and outside of the county for affordability, and because of land availability, that are coming back into the city every day to work. So, but thank God we've got housing that is being built further and further out. But the problem is it's being built further and further out, which creates a transportation issue for all of us. In respect to crime, we've had one of the lowest crime rates in the last 20 years. And that's primarily due to the good work of our police officers in our community and the amount of money that we have spent in our police department over the last 20 years. I think our police budget today is over $40 million, or approaching $40 million. It's a significant budget for our community. But we also are using more technology, drones, camera systems, in-car cameras, cameras on our police officers to assure our citizens that our police officers are not doing anything to harm them. There's been a lot of technological advances in law enforcement that has helped us solve a lot of crimes and also combat a lot of crimes, and also being able to statistically analyze areas of high crime where we can put more resources. Not every part of the city needs the same resources as other parts of the city. And so how the chief of police and his staff determine where those resources go is especially they look at a lot of the crime statistic and analyze those statistics to determine where more areas of crime occurring where we can combat it using more resources. that is something that they deal with on a day in, day out basis. My job and the city council's job is to make certain that we are appropriating the appropriate money for them to be able to do these things and to combat these things, and we also have to take into consideration, since this is a tourist destination also, we have a lot of people from all over the country that are coming here on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, that also impact us. So we're dealing with a lot of folks that are coming into our community, some that are not even from this community, that sometimes they come in here and they create crimes. But our job is to make sure that we're appropriating the proper amount of money for that department to be able to combat crime at the level we want it to.
What is the current situation regarding deportations in Wilmington because of the new presidential administration?
It's no different than it has ever been. If our police officers or our sheriff deputies apprehend or stop somebody that's illegal, we do the same thing we've always done. We usually will take them to the county facility that on Blue Clay Road. There's a process that they have to go through. Sometimes we'll have to wait several months for them before they are deported, but there is a process just like any other process that we use when we apprehend somebody that has committed a crime or is in this country illegally. We're not out looking for people, but if we do stop somebody or find somebody that is illegal for one reason or another, and they are apprehended or arrested, there is a process that we go through with the federal authorities in regards to a deportation process that does take some time to do. There's also, they also are offered, just like any other person would be offered, some counsel through public defender's office or whatever the case may be, that would also help them, because some folks that may be in this country that they may apprehend that don't speak the language or have not learned how to speak English as of yet, may be here on green cards, may be here on some type of visas, they may be here shopping and they get stopped for some reason or another. We have to have interpreters to make sure the people in the community that we're also, we're upholding the law, but we're also making certain that we also doing something that is not, we're not creating a worse problem by apprehending someone because they can't speak the language or we don't know who they are, whatever the case may be, for whatever known reason. So we have interpreters to determine what's going on with these individuals. But our job has been the same throughout, that we will uphold the law, whatever they may be.
What are some of your biggest challenges as mayor?
Well, I think the biggest challenge for this area, for this community, for me personally, is the amount of growth that has happened in the region, the amount of people that are moving to North Carolina in general, but the amount of people that are moving to the coast. I grew up in this town. When I was growing up in this town, as a young man, there was probably 55, 60,000 people in the entire county. Today, this county has 239,000 people and growing. The city of Leland had maybe 1,000 people. Today, the city of Leland is approaching 30,000 residents, and the county of Brunswick is almost at 200,000 people. So the region has exploded in growth. The city of Wilmington, per se, is 50 square miles from MLK Parkway to South 17th Street Extension, from the Intercoastal Waterway to the river. We have grown at about 1% a year, 1.2% a year. We don't have a significant growth rate per se as a city. What we are being impacted with is the surrounding areas growing dramatically and the impacts that those areas are having upon our community and our city. It's just having to work with our other elected leaders in Brunswick County, in the city of Leland, in Pender County, with the county commissioners, with our state representatives. How do we create the infrastructure necessary to maintain and take care of all these folks that are moving into the area, that are impacting our highways, our bridges? It's something that in this state, all of the major metropolitan areas are growing, because the state of North Carolina between 2020 and 2030 was going to add an additional 1 million people, just like it did the previous decade. The majority of that 1 million population, according to our state demographers that look at living patterns and where people are locating, the 4 areas of the state that have been identified as going to have the highest percentage of that 1 million is going to be Asheville and Buncombe County. And that may change a little bit because of the fact of what has happened up in the western part of the state in the aftermath of Hurricane Helene. Charlotte-Mecklenburg area, the Raleigh-Durham, Chapel Hill area, and New Hanover County, Pender County, and Brunswick County. Those are the 4 areas of the state that have been identified that will see the highest percentage of that growth. So we have growing issues, growing pains that are taking place in our community and that are impacting our citizens on a daily basis. So a lot of people move here for the quality of life that we have here. And so our job and one of the challenges that we have as elected leaders is how do we bring in all these new residents into our region, into our community, without destroying the quality of life that everybody has come to expect and want. And it is challenging, but we're constantly looking at our land use plans to see what we can do better. We're constantly looking at alternative modes of transportation, whether it be trails, which have become very popular, where people can use bikes, and now we're starting to see a lot more electric bikes, whether it's public transportation, whether it's building services closer to where people live so that if they do travel, the travel time is not as great as it was, say, 20 or 30 years ago. We have a lot more people that are shopping online and delivery services and people, getting goods and services that way. So we're constantly evaluating different techniques, different ways that we can move people around, how we can protect more open space, how we can provide more services to our community with less of a cost by using automation and technology. I mean, we're starting to see that with our trash delivery system where we can eliminate 2 people in the back of a trash truck and use an electronic arm to dump that trash. Is another way. I mean, we'll probably be looking at within the next 10 years in this community, like all communities, I think you're going to start seeing a lot of driverless cars. I already see it in California. It's going to come here. That technology is already here. We're already seeing it in robotics and what have you. But it is going to be transformational as to what is going to transpire throughout this entire country and this world with artificial intelligence. We're kind of at the beginnings of this. I mean, it's already here in some way, shape, or form, but it's going to really accelerate over the next 10 to 20 years dramatically. And how it's going to impact our communities, how can it be used for the good as opposed to the bad? I mean, there's a lot of concern about the displacement of workers, but also is how can you use those technology advances to improve the delivery of services for your community, getting more eyes up in the sky. Let's just say for policing through drones or through driverless cars that can give you that 24-hour, 7-day-a-week view of what's happening on the ground. There's just a variety of different things that we're constantly evaluating and looking at, and we all kind of get together a couple times a year. Cities, counties. We look at the advancements in all kinds of things, from the delivery of services to how we can reduce the amount of waste. How can we do things with less people if need be? It just runs the gamut, and we are constantly looking at innovative ways to continue to provide services in a very efficient manner, because that's what the citizens, elect us to do, is to make sure that we're at the cutting edge of all this stuff.
As you know, my channel focuses on preserving the stories of our veterans. Can you tell us how the city has been supporting the local veterans?
Well, we have teamed up with a local veterans group that created the Veterans Day Parade, which now has become one of the biggest parades in November, on November the 11th, which is Veterans Day, which has turned out to become probably one of the most well-attended parades in our community. And I'm proud to say that, to see the outpouring of love and affection for the men and women who serve this country has been outstanding. Obviously, we have the Veterans Day Parade. We also have Memorial Day services. We have our state's memorial to our veterans that lost their lives during World War II in in the USS North Carolina battleship. We've also been designated as a World War II Heritage City for the amount of things that this community did to support the war effort during World War II. We are a very supportive community for our veterans, and understanding that, 45 minutes up the road we have Camp Lejeune, or Camp Lejeune, depending on how long you've lived here, which is the Marine, one of the large Marine bases, if not the largest Marine base in the country. And we know that we are constantly in communications with those folks, because we have a lot of their personnel and that come here and visit our community. That we have our Marine Corps balls primarily that are here at the Wilmington Convention Center. I think there's about 8 to 10 balls a year, and it's magnificent to see everybody dressed up in their dress blues to come here to the convention center and do their and have their balls, their Marine Corps balls here. We preserved the old USO building at the corner of 2nd and Orange Street. That was an old USO building that some people were talking about tearing down. We preserved that to keep it for historic purposes. We also have recognized our Medal of Honor winners. I think New Hanover High School may be the only high school in this country that has 2 Medal of Honor winners from the same war, which is Billy Halliburton, who lost his life, I believe, in Okinawa. He was a medic. And Colonel Murray, who I had the honor to meet, that fought in France and received his Medal of Honor from a battle in France. We also have Ashley, Eugene Ashley, that Ashley High School is named after, another a Vietnam veteran that won the Congressional Medal of Honor. So 3 of, I think, we have Murray Middle School, we have Ashley High School, and we have Halliburton Park that we named after Billy Halliburton. So we're very proud of our Congressional Honor winners, and we've tried to preserve the historic aspects of what this community did during World War II, in around the area where the POW camps were near Williston Middle School, where the shipyards were, where we built 243 Liberty ships that contributed significantly toward the war effort. The missile site installations up at Topsail. There's a variety of different things that we have preserved for future generations to go back and take a look at. But this area has played a significant role in supporting our military and continues to do so. We have 2 military veterans that are on our city council, Councilmember Celeste Andrews and Councilmember Charlie Reinbark. Councilmember Reinbark was a Vietnam veteran. Councilmember Andrews was worked in the Air Force at Seymour Johnson Air Force Base. So we have a great military tradition here, and support our military. We have our Memorial Day services that are beautiful, not only at the National Cemetery, but also at the fantail of the battleship in the evening. We also have wreaths across America that you have been to, where a young man that came to me many years ago from the Civil Air Patrol that said that he wanted to do this, and I think at the first year that we did it, I think we got maybe 20 wreaths. Today, every grave at the National Cemetery is covered with a beautiful wreath, and that's a testament to everybody in this community and to this region that supports that effort. So we've had 2 commissioning ceremonies here that I've been part of. The USS North Carolina submarine, which is the 777, which is now stationed in Pearl Harbor, which is a Virginia attack sub. And then we had the USS Gravely, a Navy destroyer that was commissioned here in Wilmington. So this area has played a pretty significant role in the life of our military and the continued support of our military personnel and people. We have a VA clinic here at the airport. This is a community that has always embraces veterans and will continue to do so for many, many years to come. And I'm proud to say that.
Before we conclude this interview, is there any message you would like to give out to all the residents of Wilmington?
Well, you know, this is a beautiful city. This is a great community. This is a historic old city. Obviously, you know, as somebody that was born and raised here, I'm very biased in saying that. But I also will tell you that I'm proud to see what has happened to our community. I'm proud to see the preservation of our history. I'm proud to embrace the new neighbors and people that have moved here. And I just want to say to all this, we're lucky to live in an area like this. The world has found us. And we're going to have to embrace that, and how we're going to work through that is going to be challenging at times. But one thing I want people to know is, as a lifelong resident here, I take pride in my community. I love this community. And every day I come to this job is a privilege that the citizens have given me the opportunity to serve as long as I have served. And it's an honor to do so, and to now recognize that Wilmington is known all over the country. Many years ago, we'd go around and people would say, Wilmington, Delaware? Now they know where Wilmington, North Carolina is. And it's a testament to a lot of people. You know, we have a great university here. We have a great film industry here. We have a lot of entrepreneurship here. We have just so many great things that are happening in our community and continue to happen, and it continues to evolve. And that we have so many young people that want to move into our community, which is also a testament to the things that have happened here. And you know, this is a collective of a lot of people, a lot of organizations, a lot of people just trying to do the right thing and the best thing for our community, and it has paid dividends over the years. And I've seen it, and I've seen just so many different people that I would have never met if I had never been the mayor, and understand their passions, that, you know, whether it be about education, whether it be about the environment, whether it be about the health care, whether it be about trying to bring jobs to our community, try to improve the arts of our communities, to support our film industry here. There's just so many folks that do so much on a day in, day out basis that you'll never meet, that you'll never know. But I can assure the folks that are looking at this and seeing this, that they're just as passionate about this community as I am. And I just think that we have a tremendous future ahead of us. It's going to be an exciting future. It's going to be an exciting century for Wilmington. We had just such a, you know, to think that this community was incorporated in 1739. I think we just celebrated our 280th birthday. And to think where we have been, what we have done, the history that has resided here. We have a Revolutionary War history. We have Civil War history here. We have Civil Rights history here. We have railroads history here. There's just so many things that make up this community and this city, and I'm just proud to be the mayor of it.